I'm going to show you guys how to simplify nasty square roots like this in under 5 seconds. So we have to first make sure we have a 2, and then we can proceed. If this is a sum, open 2 square roots with a sum in between. Now here we go. Think about 2 numbers, they add up to be 7 and they multiply to 10. What's the combination? 5 and 2, yes. If it's a sum, then the order doesn't matter, and then we are done. Just like this. Now for the next one, we have a 2, and this is a subtraction. So open 2 square roots with a subtraction in between. Then we need 2 numbers. When we add them, we get 10. When we multiply them, we get 21. 3 and 7, right? Now you have to be careful. If it's a subtraction, we need to have the bigger number goes first, because the final output has to be non-negative. Now for the last one, this is a 4, but don't worry. Think about 4 as 2 times 2, but the 2 right here can be the same as square root of 4. Now multiply these 2 square roots, we get square root of 28. So do the same thing now, open 2 square roots with a subtraction. We need 2 numbers, they add up to be 11 and they multiply to 28. 4 and 7. But be careful, we have to subtract here, right? So 7 has to go first, and then minus 4. But what's this? Just a 2. So square root of 7 minus 2, and then we are done. Just like this. And now let me explain why this works. So I'm going to claim that if today we have a square root of 2 numbers adding right in front here, and then we add 2 times the square root of these 2 numbers, then we are going to get square root of a plus square root of b. If this is a subtraction, this is a subtraction as well, and then you just have to make sure that the first part is bigger than the other part. Now, how come this is true? Here is a proof for it. What I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to start with the right hand side and I'm going to expand it. So square root of a plus square root of b, let me square this right here. Now if we expand it, we are going to square the first term. Square root square is just the inside, which is a, and then we add 2 times this and that. Let me put it at the end. 2 times square root of a and square root of b. Let's put the a and b both inside of the square root. Last part though, we have to square this right here, which will just get b. And that's pretty much it. Because now if you look at this, I can then take the square roots both sides, like so that this and that cancel. And then don't worry about the plus or minus, alright? Because the final output we have to have a non-negative result, right? Because it's the sum of these 2 square root numbers. So as we can see, this equation is true. Now we can just look at it backwards. Square root of a plus b plus 2 square root of ab, it's equal to square root of a plus square root of b. Just like this. So done with the proof. Now, if we look back to the example that we did earlier, let's see the first one again. Square root of 7 plus 2 times square root of 10. To simplify this, as you can see, we have the 2 which matches with this 2 right here, right? So that means we have to have the 7 being a plus b. So we need 2 numbers, add up to 7. And then the 10 right here corresponds to a times b. And hopefully when we're doing these questions, a and b are nice numbers. So you can just kind of like trial some numbers. It's kind of like factoring a trinomial. Think about 2 numbers, they multiply to give you 10. Think about 2 numbers, right? These 2 numbers, they add up to be 7. And the correct combination will be a equals 5 and b equals 2. If it's a sum, then the order doesn't matter. If it's a subtraction, you have to make sure the first part right here is bigger than the other. So we're pretty much done. This right here becomes square root of a, which is 5, plus square root of b, which is 2. And then we are done. Just like that.